with the release of the movie Kalki, I think this was even starker, because there is a lot of appreciation in that movie, at least for Karna, and they are showing that Karna is a greater person and he is a better person than Arjuna. But at least as from the story Mahabharat, that is not exactly the case. I just wanted to set the record straight. The reason is Karna is a great person, warrior in his own right, but we should not distort the history too much. And the purpose of this video is also to see what are the leadership skills that actually Arjuna possesses and how we can utilize them, either be in our personal lives or also corporate world. So just in case you are looking for a historical perspective, who is great between Karna and Arjuna, there are already two instances in Mahabharata. Like there is a war called Ghosha Yatra, where Karna could not defend his boss, Duryodhan. He got defeated in that fight. The Gandharvas actually defeated during that fight, and actually Arjuna had to go and rescue Duryodhan. Karna could not do it. There are various versions saying that Karna is probably drunk during that time and all, but the truth is a leader should always be ready and fit to save his near and dear ones. Always, you cannot excuse, and that is one thing where Arjuna was always good. Greatness of Arjuna is he is so disciplined. This is one thing which you hear throughout his life. Every guru, every person that meets with will say that Arjuna is a disciplined person. So discipline is a very important quality of a leader. Second one is, there is something called Virata Parva, where the entire Kaurava army comes to fight, and it's only Arjuna who actually fights this particular war. And he defeats almost everybody, including Karna. Karna gets defeated in that. So these are two instances where actually Arjuna at least showed his superiority. It is already there, it is established. There are various versions, but he's already proven to be a great leader. And again, another leadership quality of Arjuna during the Virata Parva war. So what it happens that after 13 years, his gurus and all the elders, he sees them. And before starting the war, what he does is, he actually plants 2 arrows at the feet of each of the guru and the elderly person from the Kaurava army. And they all acknowledge that. Everybody says that, see the greatness of Arjuna. See how gracious he is, and how he has respect for elders. So, being gracious, having respect for various people is a great leadership quality. So, if you do not have this quality, and I'll tell you the comparison with Karna, this is one quality where Karna does not display in many of the instances. And for example, I'll give you an instance where either with Drona or Bhishma, in many ways actually, Karna feels that he is at the same level of both Drona and Bhishma, which is not true. But because their gurus are the same, the Parashurama is guru of all of them. So Karna felt that he is equal to them. But either their age or their experience is far more than him. He designates him as a smaller individual and a warrior. So due to this, Karna is not happy, and he vows that he will never fight as long as Bhishma is in the war. So this is one of the reasons why actually Kaurava was lost. Had both Bhishma and Karna fought, actually Pandavas would not have even won actually. So here he goes more for his self-image, self-respect at the cost of his friend or his main boss, and he is actually losing the war. So this is another important piece. So we'll have to say, and whereas similar situations Arjuna has faced, and what Arjuna has done is, he has faced many situations like that. Even for example with Dharmaraja, he never agreed with Dharmaraja on many of the points. but he was always loyal. He did not agree with many of Krishna's points, but he agreed to many of his points. And I'll give you one example. Arjuna won something called Pasupatastra. He has done his meditation penance, and Lord Shiva has granted him astra, which is called Pasupatastra, and he has come back happily about with it. And Dharmaraja asks him to just test it out. Let's see if it works. So when Arjuna was trying to do that, Arjuna actually asks him, you ask me anything, I will do it for you. So he says, okay, let's do it. So once he starts it, then Krishna comes running and says that, these are weapons which should not be tested, because they are like nuclear bombs of that age. If you do that, there will be destruction. So Krishna tells him not to test that kind. But it is always done that Arjuna tells him that, I have already given my word. And in those days, if you do not keep up your word, you are supposed to not even be alive. That is almost like you are dead. So Krishna tells him, don't die on this particular point, but do one thing, just start praising yourself, give all the false praises. So whoever does that, that person is considered dead. So Arjuna respects that. So Arjuna takes the advice properly, and that is the reason when the war is being fought, he was taking the guidance from Krishna throughout. He had a great guide, but he is also a listener. That is the reason Krishna gave Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Unless the student is ready, master will never appear. So that is another important point. You should be a learner. Leadership requires constant learning throughout the career. Whereas Karna had lot of ego, arrogancy, and where he could not do that. And these are the main things. And I will tell another important point is the relationships with your boss or with your near and dear. Rather than ethical considerations, Karna preferred his friendship. So even when his friend was committing many mistakes, when Duryodhana was committing many mistakes, including the Draupadi Vastrapaharanam, or where he did not, he was not happy about it, but he still supported Duryodhana over all of these issues. And there is also Lakagruha Dahan. So there is a false house that was burnt, made of wax. And Karna knew this one. And still he expressed his displeasure, but he still went with his friend. So there was a lot of ethical issues that have come. He has already gone with that, but Arjuna has not deviated from the dharma or the ethical considerations throughout his life. So all of these things, if you see, whatever movies portray, right, that is not the exact story. Arjuna is great in his own way. He's a great leader, wonderful leadership skills that he has possessed, and we should definitely learn from him. At the same time, Karna has all the plus points. He's a great person himself as well. This will not be the right comparison. We should not even be comparing people like that. But in case we have to, I just gave my opinion. Thank you. See you all. Somebody asking me to speak on Osho, maybe I will do that later. Thank you.